All right, come sit down, honey. All right, welcome to the Sports Bias with Cleveland J. My wife, Aneta. I got to get her some headphones here.
Ooh. Hello,
All right,
everyone.
so part of what we were doing and Aneta watching us do this, why don't you slide a little bit further? Come closer, honey.
Oh.
She kept on throwing her 2 cents in on stuff that wasn't sports movies, and she was adamant, and it was funny. We were just laughing, like, Ferris Bueller isn't a sports movie. And there's some other ones that we've even talked about that are, maybe it's not about sports, but sports is the major focus on the movie. Maybe it's not about sports, but so she has a list of movies that she wants to share with you that she thinks should have been considered for an award. Correct?
Yes. First, can you turn the music down? There's music in the background.
I know.
Oh, you're playing it? Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know. All right. Hi, guys.
Takes out some of this background.
Hello.
All right. So, yes. I am here representing those who sometimes give a crap about sports and sometimes don't, right? But because, for one reason or another, we are pulled into the sports arena, right? I was not an avid sports fan of any kind until I met you. And then actually one of our first dates was watching The Butler championship game.
Felix was there.
I was there.
Yeah,
Felix
you
was
were
there.
there. That's right. Felix is down in the roots with us.
Yep.
And so you kind of got me into sports. Now, I stand firm in my pick.
I'm afraid.
At
I can't
Ferris
read your
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
You left that on there? I said
I
you couldn't.
did. I don't care. Then that's my number 6. So number 6, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Let me tell you why. Growing up in Chicago, what is one of the fondest memories I have? Being out with my friends, playing from morning till dusk, being outside and hearing the WGN radio show. Anywhere we went, parents, dad's out there mowing the lawn or doing other yard work, working on the car, and what's on? But the Cubs game, right? You got to give me
Sure.
that.
Yeah.
Going to any Chicago little diner dive. Uncle Charlie's on the corner. The door's wide open. It's a beautiful spring day. What's on in the background? The Cubs game, right?
The Bears.
The same thing. The attitude, the Chicago attitude. When Rooney walks in and is like, what's the score? And the guy's like, nothing. And he's like, who's winning? The Bears. It's like that snarky Chicago attitude. I love it. Total.
It's not a bad justification, honey.
There's more.
Oh.
There's more. Number 5, whatever. The gym scene when they're at the game. Number 1, that's the first time I've ever heard swing batter. Yeah, that's the first time I ever heard that. And then since then I've heard it a gazillion times, and now I understand it. Also, them laughing at not being in gym class. I loathed high school gym class, and I think a lot of people can relate to that. So that's my justification for Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
That's your weakest part of that argument, but okay. All right, so we should have considered Ferris Bueller. If you are watching and give a thumbs up, or you're watching the replay, make sure you comment and see what you think about Ferris Bueller. All right, what else you got?
I have the movie 8 Below with Paul Walker and Huskies. So I don't know if you are familiar with it. It's a team a sled dog team in Antarctica.
True story.
True story. They had to leave behind their sled dogs because of the.
Well, don't ruin the movie.
Oh, I'm not going to ruin the movie. I'm just kidding. Watch 8 Below with Paul Walker and Huskies. There's something for everyone.
Why sports, though? Why do you think it's a sports category? I agree. So I agree. If you haven't watched that movie, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. Cry every time. I think it's really, really great. But why do you think it's a sports movie? Because the dogs are athletic?
Sled dogs, and it's a survivalist film. You kind of have like that Rocky type of
That's that slippery slope
Triumph.
you're talking about, Felix.
So, Aneta, my question would be, was there an actual game or sporting event that occurred during the movie?
I was not notified what the rules are for these picks. I was told I could pick some.
Man, those dogs are athletic.
Because, like you said, it's a slippery slope, because then you can throw in Alive.
I thought of Alive as well. Yes. yes. That's up there as well. But, between eating people or dogs, I'd pick the Huskies.
Did they even show them playing soccer in Alive? I don't even remember.
No, it's the plane crash and them eating people.
Yeah.
Okay, so Alive, which also
we
actually
told Cubby that the other day.
Aneta, I have a secondary question for you, and I hope
give it to her, Joe.
But that is not the one that has Cuba Gooding Jr. in it.
No,
Is it?
That's Sled Dogs.
What
or
is
something.
that?
No, that
Okay.
is Snow Dogs,
Snow Dogs.
and my kids wanted to
Oh.
watch it today.
Oh,
No,
Okay, all
It's
right.
with Paul
Jason,
Walker.
thank you. All right.
Paul Walker.
Paul Walker. And going back to American Pie and Stifler, who's Jason Biggs, right?
Jason Biggs is in that.
He's
too.
in it as well. And so Eight
Yes.
Below.
Okay.
Yeah,
got it.
Eight Below is a great movie. And those dogs are athletic, but it's not a sports movie.
These next two, I don't even want to hear it before I name them. I don't want to hear it.
Too bad.
Adventures in Babysitting, the new one. With the Swift.
She watches this movie with the kids probably 4 times a week. It's their favorite movie. I can't.
Roller Derby, right? Roller Derby is featured in it. The little girl is obsessed with it. And it's one of those things that, girls don't get a lot of opportunities to be featured in major motion pictures in sports. So the Swift Chip Chop.
Did you see our category for best female leads? How strong that was?
Yes. And I'm sticking with Adventures in Babysitting, the new one. Actually, both are very good. In the first one, Sarah, I forgot her name.
You guys, somebody say something. Because
Aneta, so I have one question. As Elizabeth Shue, massive fan growing up, she is not in this. Elizabeth Shue is not in
Not
this.
in the second one, but
This movie's out.
Yeah.
Throw that movie out.
you have to
Move
watch
on.
the first to compare the two because the second movie actually really pays homage, I can't speak, homage, to the first film with Elizabeth Shue. So it's just as good as the first, if not
Like
better.
she does a cameo. She does a cameo or something.
no, Joe, she doesn't.
Okay.
But
Okay.
that
Again,
that leads me
this
to
is
my
up.
that leads me to my next.
I want to say something about this one.
Okay.
So I will say, not a sports movie, and it's a ridiculous take, but it actually is good. I love Elizabeth Shue. The first one's fun. The second one is equally as good. Sophia Carson and
Sabrina Carpenter.
Sabrina Carpenter. It's actually really good. Very similar to the first one. Equally as good. I was surprised. But again, sports movie.
Homeschool families, you can have your children do a write-up on the comparison between the two. So, next, speaking of Elizabeth Shue, I am going to put Cobra Kai in the mix, even though it's
a movie.
You know what? However, it is basically a 35, almost 40-year movie to me because they so beautifully have taken this movie from the 80s,
A movie that sucked in the 80s.
resurrected it, and it seems like it has been a 40-year-long movie. To me, I love it. Elizabeth Shue is featured in it. I don't know, Joe, have you seen it? Are you a fan of Cobra Kai?
I do watch Cobra Kai. Mind your business, Jay. Whatever. You didn't like it in the 80s, that's your
Ultimate
business.
Sports Movie Award. Okay.
Again,
Yes. It's not a movie. Aneta, you're going to have to change your argument here to get this in. A 40-year movie.
It
You're
is a
calling
40-year
it.
So you're gonna put Karate Kid in then? Is that just,
Sure.
Just
Then put Karate Kid in and then watch
I'll give you that
the
one.
continuation of it.
Okay.
Also, I mean, I'm not one for following the rules. Today is a holiday that I made up, Xiao Day, where my girlfriends and I, for 26 years plus, have been celebrating February 6th as Xiao Day. So, on your rules. Next, there's more, 2 more. Actually, kind of 3. I'll make this fast. Speaking of Tom Hanks, I am putting in Forrest Gump as a sports movie because of the running, the ping pong, the football. I think it's a
Other
stronger
people
case.
have made that argument.
Okay.
I can see that argument being made.
Okay.
I
All right,
made
awesome.
it the other night, Aneta.
Did you
It
really?
wasn't a huge argument, but I brought up the running. Yes.
Awesome.
So, good.
Awesome.
Good.
Run,
I'm on
Forrest,
board.
run.
So watch
I
Forrest
mean, he played
Gump.
football he was an All-American in Alabama. He was a world-renowned ping pong player.
Yep.
It's one of those movies too that when it's on TV, you have to watch it. You have to leave it on, regardless of what point you.
For sure.
Yeah, I think it's one of those movies it became such a cliche type movie that people forget how really good it is because it is a really great. Obviously, it won awards.
Great
But
movie.
I think it's kind of got beat down over time, and it's a great movie. I'll
If
give
you
that
have Netflix, there's a very interesting series called The Movies. What's it called? The Movies We Love, or
Made
something
Us?
like that. Yeah, and they have one on Forrest Gump. They have a little hour documentary about Forrest Gump about how difficult it was to get made. And
On
it's
Netflix?
really good.
Netflix, you said?
Yeah,
Cool.
All right.
the movies that made us.
Okay.
Oh,
Is the name
nice.
of the
Yeah, I've heard
series.
of that series. Yep. Okay. And actually, and I'm no longer quite the Tom Hanks fan. I don't even know what movies he's recently come out with, but
We're not
look
going
at
there.
look at the Ricky Gervais Golden Globes 2020 speech. Hilarious. Next, the positively true adventures of the alleged Texas cheerleader murdering mom, starring Holly Hunter and Beau Bridges. Do you recall this movie?
No one recalls
I think
this
you
movie.
made it up.
Aneta.
No, it is amazing. So it is. It was from the Lifetime, which I'm a huge fan of Hallmark movies and Lifetime movies, and so this is based on a true story, in like
remember the
1993,
story.
where the mom in Texas
Yeah.
asks her brother-in-law to put a hit out on this girl or the girl's family or
She was
something
competing against her daughter.
because she was competing against her daughter in cheerleading.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember the story.
And
I
actually,
remember
they
the
won.
real story.
I remember the story.
Holly Hunter and Beau Bridges both won Emmys and Golden Globes for their performances.
I think you made that part up.
No, I'm serious.
I'm gonna look that up. I think you made that.
It was amazing, and it was during those times where it was like, because it was on no, it wasn't Lifetime. I'm sorry, it was HBO, and it was during those times where, again, in the 80s or 90s, where HBO would play the same movie 4 or 5 times
Yeah.
in the same day, and so my brother and I just remember constantly for like a 2-week period watching that.
I remember
over
the
and over and
story,
over.
but I don't remember the movie.
Okay, so I mean that was it. I mean, so the Lifetime movie that I confused it with was they did Life Stories, Families in Crisis, and they had Callista Flockhart playing Mary Margaret, who was a bulimic, and I remember that totally shifted my.
We are so far off sports right now.
You need to rein. You need
So
to rein
she-
this back in.
So she exercised herself. Her friend exercised herself to death. Okay, so those are my picks.
All right. So all in
Aneta,
all,
before you leave, Aneta, I will just say that kind of piggybacks with Jay's discussion about Bring It On that he mentioned the other day.
What?
So you are not far off base. He brought it up.
well, Bring It On is a sports movie, right?
Okay.
It's a
The same
cheerleading. It's
thing.
cheerleading.
Same thing.
And Stick It, the
So-
gymnastics movie.
So I appreciate the
I'll give you a
opportunity.
thumbs up for Stick It.
I appreciate
So,
the
one-
opportunity for coming on, and for again those of us who maybe love sports, where what are they called? Jump on the bandwagon when the team's winning,
Now
the
she's
city
using
team.
sports cliches.
Yeah.
You know what? Doesn't matter. It brings people closer together. I'm a
Aneta,
cheerleader.
based on your theories and your reasoning, you're missing a big one.
What's that?
Dirty Dancing. It's dance related.
Ooh, yes, that's a great
If
one.
that is the
Felix.
way you're going to look at things, Dirty Dancing.
Yeah, it opens the door.
I think I need to host my own episode on your show one day, like all of these, and
You're
go
more than
discuss
welcome to.
them. All right. Well,
All
thanks, guys. It was fun
Thanks,
coming
honey.
on. All right. See you
Thanks,
later.
honey.